Hi, I'm Kelly Jean Pittman, and welcome to Mastering a Resilient Heart intro course. And today we're talking about truth number 4. Now, truth number 4 is really an important truth, and it's one that a lot of people are unaware of, and it's boundaries, working with boundaries. In order to have a resilient heart, we really need to build strong boundaries around our heart. We don't want to build a wall. We don't want to get confused with building a wall, a stone wall to protect ourselves and hide behind. But we want to have safe boundaries. So we don't want to get stuck in other people's emotions and stay there because they're not ours. Then it's really hard to define ourselves. And so what happens is that a lot of people, such as myself, I have found myself there as well, who have this huge compassionate heart and they love others. And they're oftentimes the first ones helping out in a crisis, is that they can feel the pain of others. They have a lot of empathy and they get caught up in the emotion and they get caught up in the tragedy of different things going on around them. But they get so caught up in these different crises that they don't really know themselves. They don't really know who they are, and that all these other tragic things that are happening to other people, they feel them as if they're happening to themselves. And even in big events that happen around the country, so if you're one of these people who's really empathetic, is what it's called, it's like it can really get you down. It can make you depressed and it can make you sad. And it also works in with friendships, or even if you have a relationship, or in a marriage, or with kids. Sometimes we can get so caught up in other people's energies and what they're doing that we don't really know where we are or who we are and where our boundaries are, because we're so always caught up in somebody else. And that is really, really difficult if we can't define who we are and know what we want and know what our desires are and know what our dreams are. Sometimes if you have very loose boundaries, we can get caught up in other people and other people's dreams. But what happens is that when we're left alone by ourselves, is that we feel unfulfilled. And we don't know what we want. We don't know what our dreams are. In fact, sometimes we don't even know what our interests are or what we like to do. We're too busy following everybody else around that we don't even know what we like to do. So it comes to the point of that we don't even know who we are. And then that becomes a problem. That the heart is weakened when we don't have a strong sense of who we are, what our purpose is, and where we want to go. So in building a resilient heart, we really want to work on building these boundaries. And in building these boundaries, we want to make sure that we're not caught up in the media. And we probably want to disconnect from the media. That would be number one thing to do. And you want to take internal assessments when you're alone and not around anybody else, and start working on what are your favorite things to do. What are your favorite activities? What kind of sets your soul on fire? And so when you're doing this, it's really important to be alone, because you don't want to be around anyone else, because a lot of times we can get caught up in other people's excitement and claim it as our own. And we don't want to do that. And this is where that prayer and that spiritual awareness really comes in, because it really helps us to define who we are and to let go of living in other people's energy. And that's where that self-care comes in as well. So as you can see, these truths start building upon each other to help support and build a strong heart. So that is number 4, boundaries. And I look forward to seeing you for truth number 5. See you there.